Hello folks, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to play the Lord of the Rings living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. It is currently in early access on Steam. So this game has a tutorial that I could run through, but instead of doing that, I'm just going to jump into a real game and just kind of explain the different mechanics and how you do things. I'm going to be using the starter deck, which is what everyone starts the game with. And I'll be doing the first quest, Outer Cop, on normal difficulty, and I'll kind of walk us through it as we go.
After arriving,
I'm going to skip the narration for now.
If by life or death I can
Okay, so our heroes for this are Aragorn, Arwen, and Gimli. So in this game you have a starting hand of 5 cards, and you can mulligan, discard what you don't want, and redraw. For the purpose of this, I'm just going to skip that and hit confirm. Okay, so our objective for this location is to defeat every enemy or resolve Glint of Steel. Glint of Steel is this obstacle here, and the rest of these are all enemy spiders. Alright, so that was the upkeep phase. Some effects will trigger during upkeep, but right now there are none, so we skip that and go straight to the adventure phase. This is the main phase of the game. So before I do anything, let me explain what's going on, what's on screen here. So this is my side of the board, these 3 heroes. You'll always have 3 heroes, and then the starter deck, these are your 3. So let me explain what these numbers are. This 11 means that hero adds that much threat to your starting threat over here on the right side of the screen. So Aragorn adds 11, Arwen adds 9, and Gimli has 10. So you might expect more powerful heroes to add more threat at the beginning. Some effects will trigger at certain numbers of threat, like at 35 threat, more spiders enter play. Threat goes up by 1 at the end of every round, so the longer you play, the more dangerous it becomes. When you hit 50, you lose the game. There are some things that Sauron can do to add threat, there are some things you can do to reduce threat. So let's move on. The blue number is the attack value, so when Aragorn attacks an enemy, he deals 2 damage. And this red number here is the health. So Aragorn has 11 health until he is out of the game. The middle number is the willpower value. So the willpower value is used for 2 things. The first thing is to resolve obstacles or objectives, like this one. So if Aragorn were to be committed to this, he would add his 2 willpower to this and bring it down to 4. Once this is reduced to 0, you clear it, and then you get whatever the reward is for doing so. You can also, the second thing you can do with willpower is click this button here, the Fate button, which will add this unit's willpower to the Fate track, or the Fate pool, which is on the left side of the screen over here. This is kind of your, the good guy's version of the threat meter. You can increase this on your own, and there are certain rewards at different levels. So at this event here, I could spend 2 Fate to look through Bilbo's pack to gain some supplies. And these are different on both of these tracks. They vary from quest to quest on what effects they'll have. And of course, you have the ability on the hero. So for Aragorn, it says you can spend 1 resource to ready Aragorn and gain a surge action. Normally when a character does something, they are exhausted. They can't do anything else. But Aragorn's ability says after he's exhausted, you can spend a resource, which is this number here. This is your resources, to ready him, and he can do something else immediately. So let's move on. Arwen, her ability is during upkeep, she restores 1 health to a character. This is really good. It lets you survive a lot longer than you normally would. Gimli's ability is he gains 1 attack this round after the first time a character is damaged in the round. So Gimli can get 3 attack if you've been hit. So I explained a few things that your characters can do in a round. So, to review, your characters can attack, they can target an enemy, which will deal damage to their health. You can have the character add their willpower to an obstacle or location here, or you can add their willpower to the fate track over here. So what else can they do? They can do one more thing. You can click this button here, which is the defense button. This will give your unit the guard keyword. Guard is a big thing in this game. You'll notice that some of Sauron's enemies have shields floating around them. That indicates that they are currently guarding. If something is guarding here, that means that I cannot engage anything else until I clear these things with guard. So I can't even put points on this quest, it won't even let me. And I can't attack these spiders because I have to target these things with guard. The other thing that guard does is when you attack a creature with guard, it will deal reciprocal damage immediately based on its own attack. So if Aragorn were to attack this spider here, he would deal 2 damage, but the spider would immediately deal 2 damage back because it's guarding. So that's kind of all the things that you can do. Let me explain a few of the other steps that are going to happen. So you're going to get 3 resources every round, and you spend resources to play cards. You see the cards in your hand here have a number here. That's how many resources they cost to play. Some cards are events. They're one-time things, such as sneak attack, play a random ally, and it will leave after the round you play it. That's what fleeting means. Anyway, so you can play events, which are one-time things. You can play allies, which are kind of weaker versions of heroes to, give yourself more strength on the board. You can also play attachments, which will attach to your characters and give them bonuses or extra abilities, make them stronger. So let's just start playing through around here. I'm going to add out Guard of the Citadel. So this card says Guard on it, which means I don't even have to click the button. As soon as it comes out, he has Guard on him.
For the White City!
So just like for Sauron, if I have something with Guard, Sauron has to attack that thing first, and I will deal reciprocal damage back to Sauron. So let's keep that up. Let's have, since the guard hasn't actually done anything yet, let's have him actually click the defense button and have him guard again. So that guard took 2 hits. You might be asking, why did this card attack twice? Because it has the keyword Stalwart. Stalwart means you do not exhaust after the first action. That means you can take 2 actions just because you have Stalwart. So you might notice up here in the corner that Sauron has resources of his own, and he's got his own hand of cards. So he's kind of like a similar, it's similar symmetry to you, in which he will spend resources to play more monsters, events, and attachments. So what are we going to do next? We have 2 resources left. I'm going to put out a Rohirrim Lancer. So Sauron spent a resource to bring out another monster, Spies of Shadow. So this ally I put out has ranged. Ranged means you ignore guard, essentially. So this creature can throw a spear at any enemy, and if he attacks the creature with guard, because he's attacking from range, he will not receive reciprocal damage. The only thing he can't do is actually contribute to a quest or an obstacle here. So next, I think what I'll do is I will have this ally just keep guarding, because that way it keeps Sauron's attacks off my heroes. So right now I'm basically waiting for the spider to attack. It may not, but if it does, then I can start putting willpower on this location here. So I have no resources left. It's my turn right now. I think a good thing to do at this point would be to have Gimli block, since he has the strongest attack and the most health. Okay, that spider finally attacked. So now I'm going to have Arwen put some progress on this. So she contributed 3. The crow eliminated the Rohirrim Lancer, and now I'm going to have Aragorn remove the Spies of Shadow here, because at the end of the round, Sauron will gain 1 threat if this is still on the board. So let's just get rid of that now. Okay, Sauron played a Treachery card. Treachery cards are preparation cards, so they're loaded into the game and will trigger automatically when the card says it does. I don't know what it is yet, so I just have to wait and see. So Arwen has a heal ability during upkeep. She restores a damage. I will restore it to Gimli. Okay, so my goal right now is to just survive until I can clear this location here. Let's get out another guard.
For the White City!
Okay, there's Sauron's Treachery card. Treacherous Fog. After you play a card, lose a random card from your hand, so I have to discard a random card. Alright, Sauron's Spider attacked the guard, and it actually died because it only had 1 health left. Now I'm going to guard again. There goes that guard. And now I'm going to have self-preservation attached to Gimli. So that way he will heal on his own. It's an attachment that says restore 1 health during upkeep. So that way he can heal his own health without Arwen having to do it herself. Okay, now I'm going to have, speaking of Arwen, add the last 3 points to this location. So now it's gone. And as a reward, we get Sting. Sting is an attachment that's unique to this quest. And it says gain 1 attack, or gain +2 attack when attacking orc or spider targets. So it's really useful here because there's really only spiders on this quest that I'm doing right now. So right now, you'll notice this says travel here. That's because we completed the objective to resolve Glint of Steel. That was the name of the location I just cleared, or the obstacle I just cleared. So we can actually travel right now. Let's go ahead and do that. So when you travel, you move to a different board, essentially.
Bilbo's.
It gives Sauron new things, and you have a new objective, and once you complete all the locations in a quest, you complete the quest. So the objective for this round is to find a way across the stream. So the only way to progress here is to remove this obstacle here with 6 needed progress. So Arwen's going to restore health to... let's restore it to herself. Gimli will heal himself automatically. We draw only 1 card because there's an obstacle here that says upkeep, reduce each player's card draw by 1. Now I did notice that this also affects any time you would draw cards outside of upkeep. So it's not just during upkeep, as I've found. Okay, so I think right now this bear is pretty scary. I'm going to equip Sting. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. There's no orcs at this moment. Let's try and see what Sneak Attack will do. It'll play a random ally. Now, random ally means it could be random from the entire pool of cards, not just your deck, but any ally in the game, period. So let's see who we get.
The hidden arrow strikes true.
Alright. That will work. Trollshaw Scout. So this is a fairly strong ally. And Revenge. Revenge is an effect that triggers when this unit dies. So when this unit dies, it'll exhaust a random enemy. Let's have him guard. Took a hit from the bear. Now the bear has Stalwart, which means it will have a second action. And it has Pursuit, which means it will follow us to the next location after we travel. So I think, that being the case, it's a good idea to go ahead and get rid of it.
He cannot stand alone.
Alright. So that was unfortunate. That ally died when there was no other enemy to exhaust. But that's okay. Alright, you'll see that Aragorn, his power can be used by clicking this button here to spend a resource and ready him. That's because I have resources left to activate him. But right now, I'm just going to add 3 willpower to this obstacle. Sauron played an effect that discards a random hero's attachment. That's an expensive attachment for him, though. It cost him 4. It's still unfortunate. We lost a bit of healing, but that's okay. Alright, now I'm going to put Sting on Gimli, since he is my heavy hitter. Sauron passes. Even though he had resources left, he chose to pass, which is good for me. Okay, right now, I guess what I'll do is I will have Gimli eliminate these bats because although they have less health, they have higher attack value. So let's go ahead and get rid of them. And now we go to a new round. Our threat is getting pretty close to 35, which will add 3 forest spiders. So we got to keep an eye on that and make sure we're not unprepared for it. So Arwen's going to restore a health to herself. Once again. Okay, I'm not too scared of this rock adder. I'm going to just play a new ally.
The dwarves are upon you.
Alright, Gimli got his +1 attack. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this right now. Just so it's out of my hair. A Hive Guardian came out. Now an important thing to note here. I could travel right now, but because Sauron has not passed yet, if I travel, all of his ready monsters will get a free hit on me. So we want to take care of this thing and make sure it doesn't attack us while we travel. So, that being the case, I'm going to have this Axe Hand guard. So it has to attack him. Now it has Stalwart, so it can get another attack if it wants. To make sure it doesn't, I'm going to get rid of it now with Aragorn.
I serve no man.
And he put out a Spider Guard. Alright, now normally I would not attack a creature with Guard, but because Gimli can take it out right now, I might just do that right now. So Gimli took a damage, but he killed the spider, and I think that's a worthy trade-off. Okay, before we travel, I'm going to play Advance Warning, which it's a preparation card for me. Similar to Sauron's preparation cards, this card will stay in effect hidden from Sauron until he triggers it, and it triggers when he plays an enemy during the adventuring phase, and it will exhaust that enemy. So I've got that one card prepared here, indicated by this little circle here. So now let's travel. You may notice I neglected to look at my threat track, which is about to hit 35. It's not going to affect us right now, but if we don't take care of this monster now, it's going to be pretty painful in the next round. Let's restore some health to Arwen again. I like to keep her healthy since she's the healer. Okay, so this creature is pretty dangerous. Our objective for this location is to just defeat Kyros, this creature here. It has 4 attack, 11 health, and any character it attacks is exhausted. So you don't want this guy hitting a hero who hasn't acted yet. That would be pretty bad. So instead of that happening, I'm going to block with the Axe Hand. It will kill the Axe Hand, but he dealt 2 damage back to him because he guarded. And now, I think I'm going to play this card to draw 2 cards. I'm not a huge fan of what I have right now, so let's get some more options. 2 archers. A new spider guard. And now my card triggers, which will exhaust that spider. That was kind of unfortunate, though, because even though that spider's exhausted, his guard is still in effect. So, let me test something here. If I play this card, it says Arrival, deal 1 damage, so when this comes out, it'll do a damage automatically to an enemy of my choosing. Let's see if it'll let's see if it'll remove that guard from that spider if I do this.
You breathe so loud I could shoot you in the dark.
Not yet. That's fine, though. Okay, Sauron played a card that gains him a threat, so he is now at 35, but notice that this did not trigger yet. That's because even if you hit this threat during a round, it will not actually trigger until the upkeep phase, or the end of round phase. So I'm going to have this archer just shoot at this spider to remove its guard. If a creature with guard gets hit, then it will lose the guard. And since ranged does not take damage back, it's a safe attack. So he attached something to Kyros to give him +2 attack. Now he's even more dangerous, so we really got to try to take him out soon. That being the case, I'm going to add Warrior Sword to Aragorn, which will gain him 1 attack. So now he has 3 attack. So we can actually, I think, remove him this turn. Let's have Gimli attack with 4. We'll have Aragorn attack with 3. And now, since we have a resource left in our pool, we can use Aragorn's power to re-ready him. And then attack Kyros for the final blow. Excellent. Now we're going to have Arwen actually contribute some fate to the fate track. So you'll see this went up by 3. And now we are pretty much done for the round. So let's, we could travel now. And I think that would be okay. Although 3 spiders are about to come out, and the next location is going to add about 4 spiders by itself. So I think this is one of those cases where it's actually better to do one more round before traveling, just to split up the amount of enemies you're dealing with. So let's go ahead and end the phase here, instead of traveling. So 3-4 spiders enter play, which is quite a lot. Oh, and 2 bears come out. Oh, right. Now this might seem a little crazy right now, but I think we'll be alright. Let's see what we have. Okay. So, one thing we can try to do is we can try to get 8 threat on this track to get out Grimbjorn. It's expensive, but this guy's worth it. Let's see how we can do that. Let's have Arwen add 3 more. Okay, the archer was attacked. Sauron, for some reason, really likes to attack your characters with ranged, so he tends to prioritize those targets. Alright, let's have Aragorn have 2 more willpower. That'll bring us to 8. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to activate this. We're going to spend 8 of our accumulated fate to bring in Grimbjorn as an ally. The good thing about these fate events is when you activate them, they do not cost you your action for the round. So I can do that, and I still get to act. So Grimbjorn is specific to this quest. You can't get him normally. And he has 3 attack, 1 willpower, and 6 health. He also has block. Block means he reduces the damage he takes by 1 from each attack, which could mean 0. If something with 1 attack attacks him, it does nothing. He also has Stalwart, which means that he can get 2 actions. So, since he has block, he's an excellent blocker. I'm going to just have him block. And you'll notice that he's still ready. He can still take actions. So let's have him block again. Okay, and now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a resource to ready Aragorn again. And you'll notice it said a surge action. Surge means you get to take an immediate action after doing what you just did. So I effectively got to ready Aragorn, and I get to use him right away. And I'm going to use him to remove this bear. So now it's no longer a problem. The spider attacked Grimbjorn. So now, since these bears have pursuit, I want to remove them from the board before I travel, because otherwise they will follow you. So let's get rid of him right now. Grimbjorn has been eliminated, but that's alright. We got our use out of him. So now this spider is the last one to act. There's a few things we can do. Anything will work, really. But, like I said, SAURON likes to attack your characters with ranged. So let's put her out and see if he'll do that. Yep. That saves us from our heroes taking damage. And let's go ahead and travel. Now this next location is the last encounter. So the objective here is to defeat every enemy. That's all, just that easy. Just kill everything. Let's get a heal on Gimli. Alright, you'll notice there's an obstacle here. Somebody is caught in a cocoon. If we reduce this to 0, then we'll get a new ally. The ally is really good, just a hint. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this. This character has Surge, like Aragorn. As soon as he is played, he gets an immediate action. So let's do that.
None shall enter.
Surge action. And we'll have him guard. Okay. And now we're going to have Gimli guard. Gimli took out that spider by himself. Great. Now, let's do a feint. Feint will reduce a non-unique enemy to 0. A unique enemy, an example of that was the boss we had in the last location, Kyros with 11 health. He was unique, so I could not use this on him. Otherwise, I definitely would have. So let's pick the enemy with 2. So even though this enemy still has guard, it has 0 attack right now, which means I can safely attack it without getting hit back. So let's do that with Aragorn. A Mirkwood Broodmother comes out, so that creature's ability on arrival is to add a Hatchling Spider, then gain a threat. Hatchling Spider is a really cheap creature. Okay. We're going to take some hits right now, but that's okay. Let's get Arwen to put progress on this. Necromancer's Reach. So this costs Sauron 3 resources. Every enemy in play gains 1 attack on this quest. That's pretty dangerous. Especially since 2 of them still have actions. Well, let's just brace ourselves. There goes our ally. Huh, he didn't actually attack with this Broodmother. Sometimes Sauron does things that are not optimal, which I'm not going to complain about. Restore some health. Okay, so now this board is looking not much better than it was before, but we can still do it. We can still win. Let's bring out an axe hand.
My axe swings too.
4 attack. That hurt pretty bad. I don't think anybody can remove her. Let's get some extra damage on the axe hand. Arwen's getting a little close to death here. Okay. Gimli, let's have you block. Excellent. Took out that spider. So you'll notice that Arwen has 2 health left, and this creature has 2 attack, and it's still ready. So it would not be good to leave that there. Let's take it out now. Sauron added a treachery. Okay, let's bring this down to 1. Add another treachery. And let's go ahead and use Aragorn's power to give him a surge action and clear this cocoon. That gives us a new ally. Unfortunately, Sauron's treachery card that he prepared exhausts that ally, but that's alright. Next round, we're going to do some damage. So this new ally has 4 attack, 5 health, and stalwart, which means it can swing with 4 attack power twice. Oh, look at this. This is what happens when you don't pay attention to your threat. We hit 40 threat, and the event for that is defeat every ally in play, including the one we just rescued. So yes, there's some narrative text here about him dying. Let's restore some health to... it's not going to make a difference to restore it to Arwen. But, actually no, I will. I will because I can play this card to heal her. But before I do that, I'm just going to have Aragorn block. That will kill the strong spider. And now I'm going to have Gimli block, which will kill that spider. And now we can end the game. It was pretty rough, but our heroes took a beating, but it's alright. We got through okay. Let's take it out. That's the end of the quest. So that was the first quest on normal. And you have a scoring system here at the end. You get scored based on your final threat level. The lower your threat level, the better. How many heroes survived, your surviving hero's health, how many hazards you resolved, and the number of fate events that you used. And you'll get little bonuses for the game if you hit certain thresholds. But that is essentially how to play the game. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.